All right, what we're going to do now is not this tree, which by the way is a white ash, or green ash, but we're going to do the vine that you can see right here, maybe, hopefully, coming up the tree on the side there. And here's a branch of that vine, and that's poison ivy. So anybody who works outdoors or has a career outside or just likes to be outside needs to know what poison ivy looks like. It's kind of famous. You may have heard leaves of three, let it be. And I don't get it real bad, so I can handle it here a little bit. It has a compound leaf of 3 leaflets. Now there's other things that have 3 leaflets, even some raspberries. But if you want to play it safe, if you see leaves of 3, just don't mess with it. We'll teach some other things in this semester that'll be like this as well. But if you are scared of it and get it really badly, just stay away from anything with a compound leaf of 3. It grows as a vine going up a tree, and it can get as large as your arm. Maybe not your leg, but they can be arm-sized vines going up a tree. And it'll commonly be coming up out of the ground, and it'll get up to about 18 inches, and it'll tend to then fall over, and then it'll shoot up again, and it'll just repeat that. It's looking for something to land on and start climbing. And you'll find yourself sometimes standing in a field of poison ivy. It'll seem like that. When that ever happens, those are shooting up out of the underground stems and traveling along the ground, and they're looking for something to climb up. Many times when you find yourself in a situation like that, there's a big vine close by on a tree somewhere trying to get up into the sunshine. What presumably looks like branches on this thing is not. That's more poison ivy limbs coming out. Another feature that's helpful for identifying it, besides the leaf of 3, are these BB-sized fruits in clumps like grapes. These are green right now. They're going to turn sort of a buttery white, a faint yellowish white color in clumps like that. And there's very few fruits in the eastern U.S. that have that kind of color, nearly a white. That's sort of a warning as well to you, I think. It works good like that. And interestingly, birds relish those things. And then, of course, they fly and poop the seeds out all over the landscape, and we get poison ivy. Another really good identifying feature to the vine is it gets very, very fine aerial roots, almost like the thickness of your hair, or it'll look like fine steel wool. And that's what helps it cling to the tree as it climbs. So when you see a very, very finely hairy, I don't want to say fuzzy, they're long, like steel wool or actually your hair all over a vine, you probably want to stay away from that. If a little insect or something's got into that vine, oftentimes almost like a black tarry substance will be running down the vine. You see that on there, you for certain are looking at a poison ivy vine, and you want to be cautious about that. All right. Poison ivy would be a great landscape plant. You'd be thinking, what? You know, that'd keep kids off your lawn, right? Just plant a poison ivy hedge. But it actually gets beautiful fall color, almost like fire. It red and oranges all over the stems, the leaves. The British do plant it as an ornamental. I've not seen it planted as an ornamental in the U.S., but I'm sure there's some people looking for low toxic ivies, you know, and if they could come up with one, that would be a good thing. Here's a fun thing, Bob. With increasing CO2 in the atmosphere, you know, people debate like what that's doing, but it's pretty clear that vines in general, grapevines, poison ivy vines, are growing much faster in high CO2. And that's actually been well studied in forest situations, and unfortunately, they're more toxic as well. They produce more of the oil that causes the dermatitis on our skin. So it's going to get a little more vigorous as CO2 increases in the atmosphere.